Absolutely great honor.
Well, Catholics here in Utah feeling the energy from St. Peter's Square as they react to the announcement today.
Yeah, News Specialist Garna Mejia is hearing from Bishop Oscar Solis of the Diocese of Salt Lake City. And Garna, how's he feeling tonight?
As you guys can all imagine, this is a moment of great joy for many Catholics here in Utah. 400,000 Catholics that live in the state, and Bishop Oscar Solis is their leader, welcoming the media into the Cathedral of the Madeleine today. He had his phone with him, watching everything developing in real time in St. Peter's Square. For those anticipated words in Latin, Habemus Papam, we have a Pope to say this is a blessed moment, not just for the faithful, but for all the world, to welcome a new spiritual leader and a, quote, servant of all servants. Bishop Solis asked us to pray for Pope Leo XIV and added that though he was happy to learn the new Pope is making history as the first American, it doesn't matter because this was a choice guided by the Holy Spirit.
A Pope that happens to be an American from America, it tells us about the universality of God's love. You know, God chooses a leader for the Catholic Church, not only to serve the Catholics, but to serve the entire world.
Today, we also spoke with school children from the Madeleine Choir School. They've been following this process really closely and said that they were coming in from recess when their religion teacher told them there was white smoke and a new pope.
I was kind of really wild for me because it was an American, and no, it was not on the list for everyone.
I hope to learn more about what he does to help the world become a better place.
And don't we all, a real sense, I think, of someone used the word magic, a sense of wonder, and also a sense of faith to see so many coming together to experience this moment. We're hearing also from Bishop Solis what he thinks that direction that this new Pope is going to take. And I'll get into those details coming up at 5. But for now, I'll send it back to you.
Big day for Catholics all around the world. All right, including here in Salt Lake. Thank you much, Garna. And we first brought you this news as a push.
Coming up next on Live at 5.
The energy and excitement from St. Peter's Square is being felt right here in Utah, where thousands of Catholics are rejoicing with the selection of a new Pope. We'll bring you their reactions.
Students from the largest Catholic high school in the state reacting to the news of the new Pope. We'll take you inside for that announcement.
Now more than 600 charges in an Ogden animal hoarding case. Why some say the laws are not doing enough.
KSL Live at 5 starts now.
First American Pope. I mean, this is a big deal.
It's a really big deal, especially because I think that the church is trying to be more inclusive. And as a Californian, that's really important to me. And, you know, I think faith, regardless of your faith, is really important. I hope that this will bring everyone together.
Hope and excitement from Catholics all around the world after the announcement of their new Pope. Pope Leo XIV is a United States national who spent much of his life as a missionary in Peru and in Italy. He is the first American Pope in history and originally comes from Chicago.
My first reaction when I heard it was announced that Cardinal Robert Prevost was named Pope, I was in absolute shock, happily shocked.
He was chosen by his fellow cardinals following the death of Pope Francis after a conclave that lasted less than 2 days. Here in Utah, we're also hearing from Catholic leaders to see that historic moment at St. Peter's Square. That energy felt here in Utah by 400,000 Catholics. We have live team coverage of today's historic event. News specialist Garna Mejia getting reaction from the Catholic Diocese of Salt Lake City. Garna, does Bishop Oscar Solis know the new Pope?
That's a really great question. Bishop Solis actually had the chance of meeting with Pope Francis. He tells us that he hasn't met with Pope Leo XIV just yet, but he did say that he's impressed with the new Pope's resume, including that service in the Vatican. He says that that's going to be really helpful as he steps into his new role, but also his missionary service and the years that he spent serving the people of Peru. Bishop Solis says is going to give him a lot of perspective. Now, today he says that he's been praying fervently for the the Holy Spirit to guide this process, and said that he was happy to hear that the new Pope is an American, a historic first for the Catholic Church, saying this is a sign of God's universal love because no matter where the new Pope is from, he now serves all people.
A lot of people think that it is a political process, a lot of juggling, a lot of lobbying and so on. No, it was a different kind of election where the cardinals are guided with sacred responsibility and to the inspiration of the Holy Spirit to choose the right men.
Bishop Solis, himself a trailblazer as a first Filipino to head an American diocese, said he was impressed by the 5 languages that Pope Leo XIV speaks. And he actually, I have to share with you guys, he lit up when he heard the Holy Father speak to the crowd at St. Peter's Square in Spanish. Now, Bishop Solis says that he expects this new Pope will follow and build on the legacy of previous popes, including Pope Francis. But he also said that he's looking forward to seeing how the new Pope will help the church stay relevant and address the needs of this world that is at times in crisis situations. There's also questions and these same concerns that are being raised by school children who are also excited to hear about the new Pope. We'll hear from their reactions coming up at 6:30. I'm Garna Mejia, KSL-5 News.
All right, thanks, Garna. Well, the election of a new Pope is
We're here at the Cathedral of the Madeleine, where all of the rejoicing, all of the excitement with the selection of the new Pope is being felt all the way from St. Peter's Square. We're hearing from Bishop Oscar Solis, as well as the rising generation. I'll bring you those details coming up at 6:30.
Charity for all. Reactions are also coming in from people and Catholics across all ages. News specialist Garna Mejia spoke with some students today about their reaction to the new Pope and also a specific request from Catholic leaders. Garna?
Catholic leaders welcomed the media here into the Cathedral of the Madeleine just moments after this announcement came down, saying that this was a time of celebration, but also asking Utahns to pray for the new Pope. Outside the Cathedral of the Madeleine, a black cloth in respect to the legacy of late Pope Francis, but inside a new chapter.
Vive el Papa.
As news spread, the selection of a new Pope, Leo XIV, a Chicago native.
A Pope that happens to be an American from America. It tells us about the universality of God's love.
Bishop Oscar Solis of the Catholic Diocese of Salt Lake City is impressed by the Holy Father's resume, including his service at the Vatican and missionary work in Peru.
God chooses a leader for the Catholic Church, not only to serve the Catholics, but to serve the entire world.
We also heard from Catholic school children at the Madeleine Choir School.
I'm really excited. It's kind of a really shocking experience.
They've been following this process closely.
I just felt really excited that maybe we'll get one soon or maybe later.
The children were at school this morning when they heard the news from the Vatican. And yes, the historic nature of the selection was not lost on them.
He chose to have a pope that's from the U.S.
Kind of really wild for me because it was an American. And no, it was not on the list for everyone.
Like the rest of us, the children look forward to hearing from the new Pope and his guidance in the years ahead.
It would be awesome if our new Pope was as good as Pope Francis.
The Carmelite nuns of Salt Lake City also shared a statement with us saying that they are welcoming this announcement, giving thanks to God for the newly elected Pope Leo XIV, and saying that they will continue in unceasing prayer for him. I'm Garna Mejia, KSL-5 News.
Garna, thank you. It's so nice to hear the joy and the optimism in their voice. We were here at the cathedral on the day of Pope Francis'
receiving citizenship there. The new Pope causing excitement tinged with hope around the world tonight.
Here's a local bishop reacting to today's news.
Tells us about the universality of God's love. God chooses a leader for the Catholic Church, not only to serve the Catholics, but to serve the entire world.
Bishop Solis knew Pope Francis and says he's impressed with Leo's resume and is looking forward to see how the new Pope builds upon Francis's legacy. The Carmelite nuns are praising the decision.